recording at the tone. When finished, press the pound key.
Hi there, Cindy. My name is Scott Jewers. My phone number is 902-220-9106. I'm calling in regards to a very serious case I have had open with Crystal Morgan, and then an interaction with Suzanne Husbands. I don't know if they'd passed along how serious the issue was in the accusations that I was coming forward with evidence with. But at this stage, I feel that both of your employees, if they have not contacted you and have not engaged with you, have committed serious instances of fraud. Now, I've got a lot more evidence I'd like to supply, along with recorded calls. Some of the information is just blatant fraud, and I would like to state that that it does seem that Professional Conduct Services was aware that you were absolutely fabricating a record, and as you had nobody contact me back, then how could I ever provide evidence or do anything like that? I think it was done specifically so I couldn't provide evidence. So I've got a very, very serious set of issues here where Kristen Holm and Nancy Murphy were also engaged in serious instances of fraud. The most concerning being with my book bag. However, I also reported serious incidents of a man standing over top of me and immediately touching my stomach, which Kristen Holm did not actually report, and Crystal Morgan actually didn't include in her report. There's different instances where, like, they said that they contacted my mother for collateral, and if you check the notes, like, there's nothing there. And my aunt completely defended me. My mother was so sick. I've got the doctor papers that I actually submitted, and nobody's getting back to me, showing she had a 17-centimeter mass in her stomach. They didn't record that I'm a caretaker for her, or that she was severely disabled or anything like that, and that Kristen Holm based her decision on a severely mentally and physically disabled woman who had a 17-centimeter mass in her stomach. And how she completely misrepresented my doctor and the interaction. But also then concealed serious information, such as my book bag being sent with a homeless man, self-admittedly on drugs, who was really sketched out and had a big sticker on it with my name. And went through my book bag and went through my wallet, and then the next day came to me and asked me if I wanted to rock, paper, scissors for one of the 20s. I've also got Kristen Holmes stating I talked about Bell Media and Stephen Harper in our recorded session, August 5th, 2022, and I actually submitted the recording and the transcript, and nothing like that's ever talked about, showing she just fabricated a completely fraudulent record. There are very, 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 very serious instances of fraud here. And the fact that Douglas Grant signed off on this and then Crystal Morgan didn't see all these instances of fraud, while you're making statements such as, oh, we reviewed all the evidence submitted in the medical record. I literally submitted the page numbers all this fraud was on, and had contacted you guys about this. So I don't understand how it is that somebody could have reviewed these records and not have seen this, especially when there's audio recordings and you can hear it for yourself. That's telling me that a lot of these actions were absolutely done with malice. You people had a serious responsibility to understand the issue as it was, along with the serious abuse that I was reporting. Right? Now, here's the thing. I'm a global technical expert. I have 18 years in my field. Now, what the case does not show is that I walked down to Halifax Regional Police with a project called the Wolf in the Neural Network, which is also the premise of a book, which was 424 data points, all hyperlinked and researched and referenced, asking the police to please sit down and go over this with me. Once they realized that some of their fellow officers were involved, and they were directly, they said, oh, we can't investigate other officers, we're going to go get you a paper to file a complaint with police, and then just came back and arrested me. And then I was slandered and terrorized. I was denied a lawyer over 5 times. The emergency mental health doctor got up and straddled the door and mocked and humiliated me. Like, Nancy Murphy told me there was no phone to contact a lawyer. This is really bad. Now, I'm going to be leaving several other messages just so I know that this evidence has been submitted, so I'm sorry about that, but I have no other way. If you do have to contact me back there, please, I'd like you to use my gender pronoun of daddy in any further communications, okay? Really sorry, Cindy, but it does seem like you're the one I would have to be talking to at this point, so I'm going to need to relay this information to somebody. And also,
You have 20 seconds remaining to record your message.
And I would also like to note very clearly, I did contact Cox and Palmer, and they stated anything to do with J.D. Irving is a conflict of interest. right? And since you sent this with Kristen Holm over to Cox and Palmer, Stephen McNeil is also a massive conflict of interest. So you guys have a serious problem and an obligation to clarify the situation, okay? All right, Cindy, I hope you have a great
To send
day.
your message to the system, press the pound key. Your message has been sent. Goodbye. Campbell, manager of the Professional Conduct Department at the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Nova Scotia. I'm not available to take your call at this time. However, if you leave your name, number, and a brief message after the tone, I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you and have a great day. Start recording at the tone. When finished, press the pound key.
Hi, Cindy. It's Daddy calling again. My phone number is 902-220-9106. Like I said, I had to make a couple contacts here just to get this point across. It's important. All right, so I want to talk about the fact that Kristen Holm used and abused my mother in the record, and that Crystal Morgan didn't clarify, because I did clarify in my submissions how sick my mother was, very specifically how sick she was. She actually died 6 months later, not even 6 months later. So I'm going to read to you the notice that I got after I got out of the hospital, okay? So my admission was on August 2nd, right? So I'm going to read you the notice we got back from the doctor. Dear Dr. McDonald, thank you for referring Debbie, my mother, to the gynecology clinic. As you know, she is a 62-year-old referred for an adnexal mass. History of presenting illness. She had a CT scan done in August 2022 for left lower quadrant pain. She showed a complex left adnexal mass. She notes decreased appetite leading to weight loss over the past few weeks. She does not know how much weight she lost, but noticed that her clothing seems looser lately. She has noticed early satiety and occasional nausea, with only one episode of vomiting. She denies fever, chills, or night sweats. She denies chest pain or shortness of breath. The results of her CT scan were as follows. Prior hysterectomy noted, corresponding to the pelvic mass noted, or X-ray, is a large, complex, solid, and cystic mass with separations and faint calcifications measuring about 17.4 by 12.8 by 15.2 centimeter renal caudal, AP and transverse dimensions, respectively, slightly to the left of the midline in the low pelvis. This retrospectively correlates with the left ovarian lesion on the prior CT that measured 5.4 by 3.5 by 3.3 centimeters. All right, so you note this was done in August 2022. There's no way I could have known about this. I told Kristen Holm how sick my mother was, right? I actually told her, I don't care what you do to me, but I have to get out to make sure she's okay, because she doesn't have anybody to look after her. My family are awful people. And I noted that my mother had severe mental and physical disabilities. She has manic bipolar disorder, and I look after her, and I deal with a lot. That includes, I've cleaned up piss off the floor, over 1,000 times, and I have to clean shit up off the floor a lot of times, and then argue with her about getting her in the shower to get her clean. As a caretaker, I also help clean her vagina and her ass. That's right. And Kristen Holm then left out, we're in a COVID pandemic, so we couldn't even have home care come in to assist. I had to take care of everything, and it was a lot. And you see, I was admitted August 2nd, so it was really bad around that time. It was really bad. Family members were like, Scott, she can't talk to you like that. And I was like, look, she's really sick. We know something else is going on. It's okay. She's my mom. I love her. It's okay. It's okay. It was so bad that by mid-September, she was rolling around on the floor and couldn't get up. And my family watched me struggle trying to get her up off the floor, and nobody would help me. I even asked them, please help us go to emergency, because I can't afford an ambulance, and they wouldn't take us. My mother would pass away, so this would pass away on January 29, 2023. And while she was in the hospital, Cindy, they noted the serious cognitive issues, and they had serious issues with retaliation as well. Mood swings, violent mood swings. It's where did this come from? And serious issues. And in fact, they stated that the brain scans had showed early signs of dementia. And this is completely verifying everything that I had said and told Kristen Holm. And she didn't even record that my mother had a serious mental and physical disability, because she knew how bad it was that she was basing any decision based off a seriously mentally and physically disabled woman that I'm a caretaker for. She knows the level of retaliation, and she knows the amount of abuse that I took over the last 7 years. And she literally mocked and humiliated about me caring for my mother. It was really humiliating. And you can actually check page 80 of my medical records that were submitted. Like, my mother just says goes all day, all night on that computer, and that's it. And she deferred to my aunt, who does not have a severe mental disability or anything like that, who completely defended me, like completely and wholeheartedly. So, the fact that Kristen Holm used my mother for anything was just her abusing somebody she knew was really sick.
20 seconds remaining to record your message.
That was just Kristen Holm using somebody she knew was really sick, and then she didn't record the information she knew she had a responsibility to do. It was extremely unprofessional, and it was fraud. Anyways, thank you very much, and again, please refer to me Daddy as you call me back. Thank you, and have a good night.
Manager of the Professional Conduct Department at the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Nova Scotia. I am not available to take your call at this time. However, if you leave your name, number, and a brief message after the tone, I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you, and have a great day. Start recording at the tone. When finished, press the pound key.
Hi, Cindy. It's Daddy again. I'm going to try to keep this my last one for tonight, okay? My phone number is 902-220-9106. Again, I'm sorry about this, but I have no other way of submitting this evidence if the college isn't going to contact me back and is going to retaliate the way that they did. I think this is a responsible and respectful way of submitting the evidence. I should also note that every one of these calls is being posted to Facebook, and a lot of parties are being tagged in, and there's a lot of interest being generated in this case right now. So I want to read to you. I reported different abuse, such as that the police called themselves a conflict of interest, just came back and arrested me, that they gave my book bag to a man who was sketched out on drugs, that had a big sticker on it with my name on it. I woke up to a man standing over me who touched my lower stomach. So I want to read to you. I sent an email out to, because like I'm on this big email thread about this whole issue and was at the time, on August 3rd, 2022 at 5:54 p.m. I sent this out to hundreds of lawyers, media, and one of the lawyers was actually from Cox and Palmer, but also sent this out to government officials, so they know this was all objectively reported right away, right? So stating that there's no evidence of this and that I didn't report this and that, it's actually completely false, right? It's fraudulent, right? Slander and defamation. So I'm going to read you this letter, okay? So I went to HRP yesterday, completely compliant, and they arrested me. I never once did anything wrong, never raised my voice or anything, even told the officers I appreciated them hearing me out. The supervisor said they would get me information to contact professional services who investigate police. She went inside, I was outside, came out, said she needed to speak with the officers, and then just arrested me. No warning, just against the wall, you're under arrest. They said I wouldn't comply with going willingly. It was a complete lie. They never gave me any options. They told me the resignation of McNeil was a lie, but everyone knows it's not. The dates with Post Media are also objective. I was legitimately humiliated. They then took me to emerge handcuffs for 11 hours. I never once raised my voice or said anything negative, literally. I asked about a lawyer. They said I could contact one, but when I asked for a phone, they said there was none. They checked me into the NS, literally saying I made it up. I only talked about McNeil on Post Media, which is objectively true anyways. I had to sleep in a bed with shit on the blankets. They gave me my book bag to a random man who himself said he was high on drugs and woke up hugging it, went through my wallet, seen money, and felt bad. I then woke up to a man standing over me. I never did anything wrong. The supervisor said my dates were over the place and made up excuses. You all know my dates are solid. HRP lied about there being any evidence and never giving any warning that I was going down. Obviously, until the sale of Brunswick News Inc. to Post Media, I wasn't able to piece it all together, but they are calling me a liar. I've never been arrested, never been in a fist fight, never threatened anyone ever, never any thoughts of hurting myself, nothing. I just want to move on with my life, but how can I unless I know what happened? I asked if they would investigate J.D. Irving. They said no. They said they are basically going to force drugs into me Friday to force me to say it never happened, when all of you know it did. I have no one to help me. There I am, systematically reporting these issues within 12 hours, almost 12 hours of ending up at Mount Hope. Kristen Holm didn't record the man standing over me or anything like that, nor did Crystal Morgan. In fact, you guys called me a liar, and here I am reporting it within 12 hours of it occurring. I also clearly said about the homeless man, them giving my book bag. Again, you said that your Crystal Morgan, and this report stated there was absolutely no evidence that my book bag was sent to Mount Hope before me. And I literally gave you the direct quote right from your own notes showing that it arrived with the previous client. So, And here I am again talking about them calling themselves a conflict of interest and just coming back and arresting me. Kristen Holm didn't record that. She stated that I was outside protesting, causing issues. And police reviewed the evidence and basically that I was retarded. None of that happened. It's all just fraud, right? So yeah, I wanted to report this to you and just like make sure that you know this exists. This is going to be sitting in Crystal Morgan's mailbox, and this has been provided to all these parties, including media. This is extremely concerning. It shows exactly how consistent I have been in reporting this. And had Crystal Morgan or anybody from your office treated me like a human being with some basic dignity and respect and reached out to me, this could have been discussed and provided quickly. But instead you made choices to want to treat me less than a human being, so it seems so that you guys could claim plausible deniability.
You have 20 seconds remaining to record your message.
Seemingly, you did this so that you could claim plausible deniability. So these phone calls are making sure that you can't claim plausible deniability. This has also been provided to RCMP, and I have requested serious charges of fraud be laid against these individuals because this is excessive. Like, this is beyond malice. This is criminal. Anyways, thank you very much, Cindy. You have a good day.
Professional Conduct Department at the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Nova Scotia. I am not available to take your call at this time. However, if you leave your name, number, and a brief message after the tone, I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you and have a great day. Start recording at the tone. When finished, press the pound key.
Hi, Cindy. It's Daddy calling again. My phone number is 902-220-9106. I want to discuss how serious this case is because of the police retaliation involved. This all stemmed from some very serious issues regarding Halifax Regional Police's involvement with the Wortley report and racism and street checks and that. And then we did an investigation at J.D. Irving, and it was with one of those officers that was involved in all of that. And then some information about different connections had been made, and it was very concerning. But anyways, I want to talk about some of the instances of serious harassment towards me and my family, just to try to put this in context for you, okay, in the window that all this had happened. So there was an incident where I was protesting racism here in Ecum, and I was stalked up and down the road by 2 police cars. We're 41 kilometers from a police station. And one went and parked at the top of the hill as the other one drove back and forth. Community members were so concerned. They're like, Scott, why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? And we're like, we're not leaving you alone. They're trying to get you alone. And there was actually a newspaper article regarding these topics and mentioning this. It was very serious. At one instance, I was actually stalked out of my sister's driveway. They're religious fanatics because I'm a gay man. And this was by a police officer. And I actually have images of this man's police vest that was found. Like, it's really bad. During the investigation at J.D. Irving, just before, my cousin and their neighbors had an SUV stalked watching their children in the morning, and they cornered them, and the person got out and said, please don't hurt me, I'm a private investigator. This was reported to RCMP twice, and nobody contacted them back. In that same time, within 24 hours of me submitting my complaint, around December 10th, 2019, HRP pulled in behind me asking questions about a woman in a night dress. Now, my severely mentally and physically disabled mother is well known for her night dresses, while Halifax Regional Police had to search for her before. There were instances where I was stalked to the store by the police. And it's, based off all these associations. Stephen McNeil was involved in this, and Robin McNeil and Jim Perrin, high-ranking officers. That's why the police said they were a conflict of interest and only professional standards could investigate this. Once they realized who was involved, they came back and just arrested me because they wanted to slander and defame me. And they wanted to use your mental health program and Nova Scotia Health Authority in the college to lie, cheat, and steal, because they knew if not, you would have to testify against the police. It's really bad. Like, I can't go into every detail about every threat that was made, but I want to play you just one recording. I tried to open a case with RCMP 20 times, and they wouldn't allow me to open a case because they said Kristen Holmes said I'm just retarded, so I don't get to open a case. Think about that. I'm a global technical expert with massive amounts of evidence. And Kristen Holm is literally committing severe fraud. She has not reviewed any of the evidence. She doesn't have the skills to do so, and she doesn't have the faculties to do so, and nor was she presented with any of the actual serious evidence that's being presented here. So I'd like to play a call for you where you can hear the police threatening me. Like, this is very serious. And they told me, Jessica, that if I even mention J.D. Irving, they will have me fucking arrested and pumped full of drugs.
Good.
Did you hear that? Good.
Good.
Good. And they told me, Jeff, that's right, and they know all this evidence exists. In fact, when the officer was told just some of the evidence in 5 minutes, they put their hands in their hair and said, do you ever think that maybe you're not supposed to know? The other officer was so concerned with their behavior, they put their hand on their shoulder and said, you need to stop, because they were like harassing me so bad as I'm just sitting there completely calm, cool, and collected. They said, you need to stop, this is way above our pay grade. Shortly after that recording, she said, I'll contact you Monday. She didn't contact me Monday. I actually received a call from Mental Health Services terrorizing me further, just for asking if I wanted to open a case. Like, I need this investigated because this is very serious. So, like, I think that, when you hear that, you can appreciate how serious this is. This is a massive level of abuse. And the fact that they're allowing Kristen Holm to use that fraudulent record against me, Kristen Holm knows exactly how dangerous her actions are and how serious her fraud is and the long and reaching impacts of such fraud, especially in her profession.
You have 20 seconds remaining to record your message.
Which means the college and Kristen Holm are well aware of the kind of damage you are continuing to cause by engaging in this kind of fraud. Okay? So if you could please have somebody contact me back, relay this information to Douglas Grant, that would be fantastic. Thank you and have a good day.